Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Grubby and Nerchio here on Shakura's Plateau, Game 2 in a series. I do not think I'll be able to cast all of the games today, as I do have a couple Warcraft 3 games coming up today as well, so you will just have to wait until tomorrow to get the rest of the games if you do watch me and follow my channel diligently. If you do, I thank you very much. I need like 60,000 more subscribers like you, as opposed to the 40,000 who subscribe to me and then never watch my games. Anyways, Nerchio spawning as the pink Zerg on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Grubby spawning as the green Protoss on the top left-hand side. And Grubby looking to set up a low-ground pylon, and now moving out for the scout. So Grubby on Shakura's Plateau knows most likely that the Zerg player will try to go for a fast hatchery. Even if Nerchio goes for an extractor pool or some sort of pool first opening, Grubby will still be able to respond by getting a forge and a couple photon cannons. As long as he finishes off the wall off in time, he should be in a very, very nice position. Grubby now going to come up the ramp, take a look over here by Nerchio, and see when exactly that spawning pool will go down, which is very, very important. Drones are going to come off the mineral line, and oh my goodness, so close in taking down that probe. And that probe just ever so lucky. Now gonna hang around down over here. It looks like a drone will be trying to make its way over and doing a bit of scouting. It looks like a spawning pool will be built first. So Grubby, as soon as it scouts that spawning pool, will see it and then knows that he needs to set up a forge, and in a hurry. Overlord now coming down over here. If he actually goes for Nexus first in this strategy, I would be completely baffled, as the Zerglings would be knocking on the front door well before that pylon, or well before the forge can come in, and it is going to be a Nexus first. A very greedy Nexus first. Grubby is slowing down his probe production, I believe. Yes, he's currently not training anything, as a drone is going to come by and see exactly what it wants to see. A forge here and a Nexus, and now really he has to really delay that. And oh, the probe is on patrol, running around in this location, delayed, and in comes the pylon. So the pylon block there, as the probe able to barely escape with no shields and 5 hit points. It looks like Zerglings will be running down the ramp in just a moment. Nerchio kind of just laughing to himself right now at the state of this game so far. What happened to the other probe? Did the probe get killed? Yeah, the probe get killed. So Nerchio was still able to get the probe kill. Perhaps that was what was so funny, as now you can see a photon cannon is going to be warped in. There is one gateway, and now most likely Grubby will be forced to build a second gateway here. And that gateway will just sit there and act as a wall off, as the Zerglings will not be able to take it down. That photon cannon about 10 seconds away from being completed. Are the Zerglings going to be able to run up the ramp is the key question. Grubby does have his control there, and the probe, oh, on hiatus for some strange reason, and now 5 Zerglings have made their way in, and Grubby with a very late gateway gonna be kicking himself for that. Probes are now coming off the mineral line, and this is gonna force Grubby to lose a lot of mining time here, as the probes are trying to run away from that Zergling. There it goes, and now the Zerglings are gonna start poking away at this one particular Nexus. One gateway has been completed, most likely will get canceled. The Zerglings, however, getting a free run at these units, and this is just an absolute field day for these Zerglings. The Zerglings doing exactly what they want to do, getting now a significant economic advantage. Grubby forgetting to warp in the gateway. That was a horrible mistake, and now Grubby just has to deal with 5 Zerglings in his base, and the probes are going to pull off the mineral line, temporarily attack, and then come back in. It looks like a lot of the Zerglings are in the red, but another worker was killed. Currently 7 worker kills for Nerchio, as Nerchio just has to love these Zerglings inside the base here. The probe's now coming back around. Are they going to be able to get a lot of damage? No, it doesn't look like it, as the probe just continuing to move into this area over here. But yeah, a lot of action going on, as a Zealot now going to try to test the waters, but going to be forced to fight a Zergling and some Queens. And also Nerchio doing a triple expand or double expand off of this, having now 2 hatcheries up and running. And Nerchio has to be very pleased with himself, knowing that he has such a strong economic advantage. Oh, the Creep Tumor may get taken down. No, the Creep Tumor is not going to get taken down. That would have been the easier, smarter target. The Zealot going toe-to-toe with the Queen, but the Queen coming out ahead, and now a new Queen going to take the lead as a second Creep Tumor now coming into play as well. It looks like, yes, it will get canceled. This one Queen is dangerously low, down to 14 hit points. The Queen does run a little bit faster on Creep as the Zealot does get the final shot off there. So, wow, a very, very bad loss there as another Zealot now trying to make its way in, trying to hurt the economy by dealing damage to Queens, and it looks like the Queen will stay alive, but ever so barely. No Queen yet trained off over here. A 30-28 food advantage, double Zealot pressure all the way. What does it mean? It means that Grubby's really far behind right now. 35 drones compared to 24 probes. The 3 Zealots now sitting in the center. They're going to try to make their way in. Are they going to be smart enough to know that most likely something is going on over here? And it looks like they are going to be scouting out. A sea of Zerglings now trying to come in. And the sea of Zerglings is going to intercept and surround those Zealots. The Zealots now completely flanked on all sides. Zealots are very good if they're not surrounded by Zerglings. Otherwise, the Zerglings just absolutely destroy them. And just dealing a devastating blow to Grubby, as Grubby now currently at half the supply of Nerchio. Now, taking a look at this, we are getting still have that photon cannon here. Cybernetics core. Nerchio could easily transition into roaches, knock on that door, and take it down. But Nerchio playing very conservatively, I would guesstimate. Now wanting to just get up into 200 food, most likely, knowing that Grubby really has no way of catching up, especially with Zerglings sitting at so many bases, keeping track of all of these expansions. Zergling now also outside here. No warp gate tech coming in from Grubby. Grubby very, very behind, but he is going into double Stargate. So double Stargate now, a very nice opening after going into those early Zealots. So it's going to be a Zealot Stargate pressure, and Zealot Stargate may deal a lot of damage. Stargate units from... Yeah, Stargate units are so effective against Zerg units and can deal so much damage. The Roach Warren not going to be very effective anymore. I forgot that I wasn't on the production tab, didn't see the Roach Warren. We definitely need to go into a Hydralisk Den very quickly. Otherwise, Nerchio is going to be in a world of hurt. You can see that there is an evolution chamber, but I don't see any Spore Crawlers as the Overlord still doesn't see... Oh, here comes the Void Ray. So Nerchio does know about the Void Rays now, as he's going to lose an Overlord to one. And we gotta expect something to go down. A Spire now being built, perhaps 4 Corruptors, but a Hydralisk Den would have been 3 times better. As a Spire takes 100 seconds to build, a Hydralisk Den only takes 40 seconds. And then with the decent amount of creep spread that Nerchio already has, he would be able to defend very easily, as Grubby gonna get some easy kills on Overlords all across the map. Now, total losses are still much higher for Grubby. And taking a look at the drone count and worker count, 70 compared to 48. 2 Void Rays in the skies, though. So those Void Rays are going to be a bit of a problem. Spore Crawler about halfway completed. It's never going to be completed at all. Most likely will just get canceled, but it is buying time as that Void Ray now fully charged. In comes another drone. Queen now getting in some free hits. Oh, and it does come into play. So the Nerchio's Spore Crawler does come into play as Grubby quickly takes it down. And the Zerglings are now running across the field, perhaps to deal some damage and knock on the front door, activating the Xel'Naga towers, and quickly seeing that the Void Ray is still in midfield. Where are the rest of those Void Rays? 3 Void Rays and a Phoenix walk into a Zerg base. That's the beginning of a bad StarCraft joke. We'll see what's going to happen as the Spire is up and now going into 14 Mutalisks. A Spore Crawler is there. Oh, the Phoenix of Grubby running a little bit head on into 2 Spore Crawlers and a Queen. Not a good day at all. A new Phoenix now going to come in to engage, and with only 1 Spore Crawler back over here, this 1 Spore Crawler will get taken down very, very quickly as the Void Rays now focus down on that Queen. The Queen will get destroyed, and now 4 of the Void Rays are now fully charged, but that's not going to really matter against Mutalisk. Mutalisk dealing so much damage against Void Rays. The chain weren't damaged, but the Phoenix is coming in as well, and in comes the Phoenixes and Mutalisk. What's going to be happening here as the Mutalisks are trying to get some Glaive Worm damage onto those Phoenixes and another Void Ray? It looks like this one Void Ray will get taken down as more Phoenixes try to come in. And wow, Nerchio, oh, mass transfusion to save those Phoenix, or those Mutalisks. 7 Mutalisks staying alive, as now 59 probes versus 70 drones. 6 more drones now being trained. Zerg Flyer Carapace upgrade now being started. A very, very smart choice to reduce the damage from those Phoenixes from 20, or so, yeah, from 20 down to 18. Those Phoenixes so effective against light air units. Zerglings now running across the field. It looks like they'll be able to come up this ramp and pretty much see everything that they know is not already there. Just gonna hide off here for some strange reason. As Grubby now going into mass gateways. So transitioning now into mass gateways, the Phoenixes are in the air. And with so many Phoenixes, I'm very curious as to what really Grubby plans to do with these Phoenixes. They're only going to be very effective, say, against those Mutalisks. A couple Corruptors, yeah, 7 Corruptors now being added, and those Corruptors are going to tear apart Phoenixes, as Phoenixes deal 20 damage per attack against a Mutalisk. They only deal 6 damage per round of attack against a Corruptor, so very, very important to keep track of armor types and unit types. Corruptors have a base armor of 2, and now with a base armor of 3, those Phoenixes are essentially just trying to spit at those Corruptors, dealing 4 damage and attack 2 from each of those lasers, as the Corruptors are going to be able to engage in here, and it looks as though the Corruptors, in comes the, oh, what has happened here? The Mutalisks are trying to chase, but the Phoenixes can move and attack. One of the benefits of the Protoss air army, as they continue to move around even further, taking down more Zerglings in the center. Infestation Pit now being built. Harvester count, 79 compared to 65. 197 compared to 126, a much more telling sign if you look at the food count, as a warp gate has been destroyed. It looks as though we are going to have some Zealots now moving out. Archon also being merged in. Zerglings keeping track of this army here. The Zerglings are upgraded 1-0. However, the Zealots are upgraded 1-0 as well, so those Zealots will be able to take down a Zergling in 2 shots, as the Phoenixes and Corruptors, oh, are they going to engage? What is happening here? There we go. Phoenixes, Mutalisks now being forced to pull back. Corruptors are going after a Void Ray, quickly taking that down, and the Corruptors are casting Contamination, or no Contamination at all. A lot of Corruptors in the air, but the Corruptors are not going to really be able to do very much now that the Phoenixes are gone, and we don't have a Greater Spire. So Nerchio's army of Corruptors are essentially just going to get destroyed. The Corruptors could turn around real quickly, destroy that one Phoenix, but I believe the Phoenix would be able to come back. But Nerchio now countering with 7 Spine Crawlers. Roach is going to engage, and Grubby going to be forced to pull back here. The Roaches are on creep. Force fields are coming in, and Nerchio drawing a great line in the sand, challenging Grubby, and Grubby's like, hey, I'm not fighting on creep with this many Spine Crawlers. That's just absolute suicide. Infestation Pit, a second Infestation Pit being built by Nerchio. I gotta believe that's a mistake. Considering he hasn't even started research anywhere else. Double Infestation Pit, and they're right next to each other. All right, Nerchio, moment of blindness. I know it happens to all of us, but yeah. Anyways, back over here, Grubby currently getting up some more photon cannons. Gonna set up his 3rd base, but you can see that Nerchio has such a large economic advantage after that initial Zergling pressure that Grubby may not be able to get back into this game. You can see a lot of Spine Crawlers, 7 Spine Crawlers on the front, a lot of Roaches also here, 1 Spore Crawler in the back, some Overlords. Overlords do not have the movement speed upgrade, so we're not going to have any Baneling Carpet Bombing. Roaches are trying to push in. The Roaches do move slightly faster, but the Stalkers do have Blink. And now the Roach is able to just simply run in, take down a couple of Zealots, and now in comes the engagement. Corruptors absorbing damage, perhaps looking for some Colossi, and Mass Roach just destroying Stalkers and Archons left and right. Stalkers are trying to blink. They should have perhaps tried to blink up onto the high ground. That would have been a much better proposition. Pylon is destroyed. Roaches do have an armor upgrade, but that is all, as we are now going into a Greater Spire, Pathogen Glands, and Zerg Carapace upgrade now being researched. Zerglings just getting destroyed over there, and Nerchio really needs to reset and reload. Otherwise, he's just going to do some army trading that's not very effective right now. He has a lot of gas, 8 Infestors now being built, and he's still sitting on 1,200 gas. So with the sheer number of Infestors, this may turn out to be a very, very bad story for Grubby in just a moment. He has the Corruptors in order to turn into Broodlords. You can see 8 Corruptors already in the air. Infestors are a perfect anti-air unit with fungal growth and Infested Terran. We've all seen how effective Infested Terrans were. If you guys haven't seen Game 3 of yesterday's Wednesday night StarCraft, go ahead and check it out. You can take a look at the date of the video to see what date of Wednesday night StarCraft I am talking about. But Game 3, a real crazy Zerg versus Zerg. Doing a little bit of a plug for some of my other videos if you guys are watching this. Now, Stalker up on the high ground, getting in some easy damage. And just sitting on the high ground, pretty much like, yeah, I can sit here all day and shoot at you, and there's not much you can do. Now, Broodlord Cocoons coming into play. This is going to be looking very good. You know what? I don't know how much armor a Broodlord Cocoon actually has. I guess that's one of the things I could always try to figure out, but you can't click on it. There's nothing that really tells you the armor of a Broodlord Cocoon, as we can now see Stalkers and Zealots over here. Army compositions, once again, Nerchio sitting at 200, getting money into the bank, and now Infestors are running on in. It looks as the Infestors are going to be able to get off a fungal growth. More fungal growths could be coming. There's another fungal growth as the Stalkers, and there's the GG by Grubby. Aww. I know you guys were just waiting to see what was going to happen. Absolute destruction and mayhem would have ensued. I agree with Grubby's GG in knowing that he was not going to be able to win this fight, but at the same time, part of you is just like, I want to see those Broodlords attack. I want to see those Infestors get off fungal growths. I want to see this crazy epic macro battle, but unfortunately, Grubby has left the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 2. That was a really great game. I might just cast Game 3 right now and upload it today anyways.